don't have as much money as your girl does, then you better make up for the delta between your money and her money. You better make up for it somewhere else.
So are you saying Rachel is rich?
Saying Rachel is successful.
Wait,
really.
I just heard Sedano. Sedano will agree with me. George, you know girls aren't going out with losers that have no money.
Mostly not. Right. Like, I think most women want someone who is financially
But there
independent.
are a lot of working class guys out there who are like, yeah, you mean I can't get a date because I'm a working class guy?
Have money, Mace.
Yeah, but
they do, but not everybody's rich.
By definition, a working class guy has work.
Yeah. You don't have to be rich.
So,
you just have to be able to make money.
So I have a friend who says that they don't care about the money as much as they care about the ambition.
True.
Especially when you're younger. You want somebody
You need
with
a plan.
Ambition. Laura, what? Laura just earned me.
Okay, so ambition's good, but if you don't have action behind that ambition, it don't matter.
Okay, you go, girl.
So I'm just saying.
So, Laura, will you please tell
Just
Mason
saying.
that I'm right, that if some guy has no job and no money, that you're not going out with him?
You're wrong.
Why am I wrong?
I mean, that was Lindsay.
I just say I have plenty of friends and know plenty of people who get in relationships when they're younger, and this is the problem. They always say never fall in love with someone's potential. Because if they never reach that potential and you're in love with them, you don't want to leave them. I know a lot of people like that.
You guys are missing my whole point, though. My point is that if the woman is more successful financially than the man, the woman would still consider the man.
Okay.
But the man has to bring something else to the table.
Yes.
And you can probably figure out what that is.
No.
Without it, okay?
Well, I mean, that's an important element of it.
It is. But here's my thing. Like, for me, it's just, you're right, Cappy, right? If the girl makes money, like I always say, I don't need a man to pay for me or anything like that. It's nice if you want to pay for me, but you don't have to because I got me. You don't got to get me. I got
I'll
me.
pay for you, Laura.
Thank you.
Now, does your delicious-smelling boo have money?
No, he's not rich, but he has work.
See?
Working class.
He's not rich.
Be a working person.
Yeah,
he's working. He's not rich, but he's working. But he's also very ambitious, but there is action behind his ambition. That's my thing, because he can be ambitious all day, but if he's sitting on his ass, like, then that doesn't matter.
Now, I haven't met I don't think I've met this guy, have I?
Yes, you have. At the Mandy's.
You met him at the Mandy's.
I did not notice.
How could you not know who the boo is?
I didn't.
The boo has got hair that you will recognize.
He was sitting right behind us.
Now, I just said hair, and I gave you this, and you were like...
You gave me this, and I'm like, I'm pretending to remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's what I'm doing.
Very, very good.
Pretending to remember.
Yeah.
Shadana, what are you doing?
I'm in Phoenix because I'm doing the Warriors-Suns game tomorrow, so I flew in a little early to do the show from here. That way I can... Because I've got stuff tomorrow at shoot-around or whatever I got to do for TV, so I figured I'd just get in tonight.
I'm there next Tuesday, George. I missed you. I missed you by a week.
So did you see what Jay Williams... I mean, I'm going to pivot to sports for a second.
down.
So the guys here, Gambo and Burns, the afternoon show, have been here forever. They had me in. Apparently Jay Williams said... that if I were LeBron, I would consider going to Phoenix and playing with Chris Paul and Devin Booker and that group. That's where I would want to be. I would want to be traded and be traded there when I can be traded next season. And I was just like, I was like, okay. So they asked me, like, what do you think? I said, look, do I think if you would have asked me a month or two ago if they would have considered trading any of these guys other than Russ, like I'm talking about AD or LeBron, I would have said you're nuts. Do I think they'll at least... If they have a terrible season and they're like the 13th or 14th seed, do I think they will at least consider it? Sure. But with LeBron, it almost has to be like Inception. You have to make it feel like it's his idea.
Right.
If this scenario is my guess.
I don't think you'd have to make it his idea. He'd make it his idea.
Don't you think he kind of has that thought floating around in his head somewhere?
I don't think right now. I think he just has. I think he lets it just kind of play out for a little bit. I mean, if they don't make a deal in February to make this team better and they're not in the playoffs, then I think all bets are off. That's just my personal opinion, just reckless speculation on my part. But I think that everybody needs – and by the way, I would say this of the Lakers too, that the Lakers and LeBron should revisit that pairing.
But if we get to Christmas, and I don't know, how many games is that, Ireland, to Christmas?
Probably around 40, between 40 and 50.
Okay, so between 40 and 50. Let's say we are 10 and let's say we're 15 and 25.
Yeah, it'll be like 40 games, 35, 40 games.
15 and 25. Do you make a move? with a 15-25 record?
Well, it just depends. What is the 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seed look like? You know what I mean?
But is it worth it to use your assets to get some? Let's just throw out Miles Turner because that name's floating around out there. What's the? You've got two number one.
The inevitable,
right?
The inevitable is you have to rebuild at some point because LeBron's going to retire at some point. So when LeBron is done, what do we got then? Which is why they don't want to part with these picks, or at least that's just a read of the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, long story short is I think that if you're the guy to make a move here, to quote the great poet laureate John Ireland, star-driven town, star-driven town, star-driven town.
Well, they have stars. It's a matter of what you want to compliment them with. Like if AD plays like he did the other night, it's a different team. But he's not played like that every game.
Right. Well, that's
and he doesn't play like that every game. We've seen him.
John, I was watching Geeter and those guys and Allie and them after the game. So AD has 4 35-15 games in his career, and which is fine, yeah. But when you compare it to like Shaq, which to me, he's not Shaq apples to apples, but he's such a unique talent, similar to Shaq in that sense. Like they're both unique, although different. That Shaq had 26 of those in 9 seasons with the Lakers. It's kind of wild, man. Like AD is capable of doing that way more than what we.
Yeah, he is capable. I mean, we saw it Sunday night. Why don't we see? I think it's a temperament thing, isn't it? Is it a temperament thing that he doesn't have that attack mode in him all the time?
I mean, I think at this stage it may be worth at least. I generally don't like getting into other people's heads, but I think we have enough of a sample size when everyone is sitting there saying we need him to be the guy, we need him to be the number one. LeBron has said it, the coach has said it, the front office has said it publicly. Like everyone has said this publicly, and you're not getting it. Then maybe you are right.
And we saw it there. I mean, we saw 10 offensive rebounds, putback dunks. I mean, he was absolutely dominant and attacking.
I mean, I hadn't heard John and Michael, Trudell and Michael make calls like that, like in, Lord knows. I mean, Michael sounded excited for once. It'd been a while since I heard Michael that excited.
That's because they brought him a bag of chips.
And because AD finally listened to him to get his ass in the post.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm an outsider, and I was telling George weeks ago, why does he continue to want to take threes? His best line the other night on the 37-point scoring night was 0 for 0 from three-point range. He should never practice shooting threes because he should never shoot threes in a game ever. Just wanted to rant like that. I just wanted to kind of go off like that.
The other dynamic about it was one of the reasons he was able to do that in that game on Sunday was they shot 41% from three, which gave him some room to operate. When you're not shooting well, and this is... I think it's fair to say this is not a good shooting team. When you're not shooting well, everybody can sag and clog up the middle, and Anthony Davis can't do what he did on Sunday night.
That's some real basketball analysis right there.
Yeah, too much.
That was really good. That was really coaching kind of.
I apologize.
Dude, you could be a coach. Like Jeff Saturday could be a coach of the Colts. You could be a basketball coach.
There you go. Right there.
Should be.
Yeah.
Should be.
All right, so
Mace, you want to coach? I mean, we can get you to coach like one of the like a kids team. I can find somebody for you to coach.
I'll get you to a JCC in 2 seconds here. You'll be a head coach of a 12-year-old guy's team.
Yeah,
maybe girls.
I'm bad with kids. I just
16-year-olds.
Not a kid person. No. There's a reason I didn't have kids.
Men's leagues at the JCC. Men's leagues. That's for you.
Grown-ups.
Men's leagues.
Grown-up adult human beings that you can have a conversation
curse at them
with.
potentially.
Right. Yeah. You can even choose by age group, 60 plus.
Oh, that's my crowd. I want to coach that 60-plus team. That sounds fun.
Right?
That sounds fun.
Moisha, pass it to Shlomo. What are you doing? These are my people. This is what I would do.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we're out of here. Ireland, glad to have you back, man.
All right. Tomorrow is another day.
Tomorrow's another day. We expect Coach Sean McVay to join us. God knows what we're going to talk to him about. Bad news with Cooper Kupp and all that stuff. Coming up next for you, lots of stupidity, lots of fun, lots of frivolity, as Chris Morales would say, with Shidano and Cappy. Mason and Ireland tomorrow at 1, 710 ESPN.